why'd you two break up?
Oh, yep. Boom. Boom. Let's go ahead and add browser Discord. Wait. Where is it? Well, for some reason it won't let me resize. Oh, probably got to do it from here, huh? Alright. And then I need to change the... Actually, I can't change the sizing of it here.
I remember this.
Well, let's go ahead and resize and move. Boom. There we go. And we are, I believe, we're set. Yep, nobody here at the moment. It's been 5 minutes. Alright, how's it going? Go ahead and close that because it's already on screen. And we're going to get back to gaming. But I am getting hungry.
Recording data is easy, but recording data that can only be opened by those you allow to.
I'm probably going to be on here until like 8:30, 8:40, probably like an hour. So, what do we got going on? Well, today is issues that I see with the way the left treats people frequently online. And hopefully, this is something we can generally go over without freaking out. Let me see if I can get... I'm going to need to get Discord overlay. User settings, stream mode enabled. Game activity overlay on. Game overlay. That, huh? Okay. And we will put things right there. Yep. And then this. Okay. So, let's go here. And we will enable the overlay. I don't have any pinned messages. There we go. Okay. Activate overlay chat. Well, not entirely sure. But
Iron Banner. The Iron Banner held high. Stay focused.
let's just go here and we'll just continue on.
You captured Zone A. Opponent claimed Zone C. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours. Zone A lost. You captured Zone C. Zone advantage is yours. All of you together, like Iron Lords. Captured Zone A. The flames have ignited. Let the wolves hunt.
That was bad. I just ran out in front of a bunch of people. So, is anybody here a leftist aside from me? Is anybody interested in learning about or wanting to know something about
Return
leftism?
to the fight. Zone B captured.
Oh, he got me. Frozen and then shotgunned. It's a very effective tactic.
Opponent claimed Zone A. You captured Zone C. You have the advantage. Press on.
Oh. Just sitting up there with a jade rabbit. Anyways, So, if anybody is interested in being a leftist or is a leftist, but is a little tired of the toxicity that can come from other leftists, this is why I'm building my community, actually. I shotgunned
Zone C
him.
lost. Zone A captured. Zone advantage is yours.
Jeez, where's that mercy? I'm like a third of these people's points. I feel so bad for dying this much.
What comes next, they will not enjoy. I'm calling it. Guardian, crush them. Yes, the hunt is on. Zone C captured. Well fought and well won. The original Iron
That's how you
Lords
do
may
that.
be gone, but I can see the future is safe in your hands.
Okay, so this should be I think everything's showing up in a scale the window? No. Canvas. Boom. Should be. I don't know. I don't know why it's so small. Does that change anything? Absolutely not. What are the... That should be capturing that. I don't know. That's really weird. What the hell did I just do? Oh god. Okay. No. Let's just get rid of that. I don't know. I am so sorry that this is, showing up as the size that it is. It shouldn't be. Is it because of the React Andy? Alright, get rid of that. The React Andy. We'll just have chatting.
Iron Banner.
And then we'll have to probably reset my thing.
Young wolves and Iron Lords, to battle! Zone advantage is yours.
That hurt a lot. I think I'm gonna have to, in between games or something. Okay. Let me remove. Yes. Add. Display capture. Create. Display capture. Boom. Okay, well, you know what? That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I'll deal with that in a little bit.
You have the advantage. Press on. That's 2.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Zone advantage is yours.
Oh my jeez, they're relentless. They're coming all over the place. That was about anticipated.
Your opponent pulled ahead. Zone advantage is yours. You have the advantage. Press on.
Oh my, just let me through the fucking doorway. Oh well.
You are in control.
So.
Show them what that means.
Again, yeah, question stands. Does anybody here have any questions about leftism or anything? Or, you are a lefty? God, I just got fucking ruined. What? Okay.
The hunt has
Yeah,
ended.
dude just downs a behemoth, no problems. This loadout is not very good, in my opinion. It pales in comparison to things like my, Got stuff against the wall. Anyways, if you've experienced a load of toxicity from the online left, I feel
Now you are the hunted. Good counter. Now hit them again. 2 down.
needed that. Build back up my confidence.
Let the wolves rest. The hunt is over.
And it just ruined my entire career. Hang this game up.
5 minutes remain. Two down. You have the advantage. Press on.
Okay. Yep. Totally warranted. Yes! I gotta get,
Zone advantage is yours. Your opponent's
No, I didn't have it preloaded! Oh, God, no. Just infinite... Really? He just threw, like, 30 fucking swords. Oh, yeah, that's bad.
You have have the advantage.
Kill him!
Press
Kill
on.
him!
Can't win them
Nope,
all.
okay, we lost.
Our Guardian fights for as long as they intend to. Find me again when you're ready.
3 play. Wow. Alright. Huh. Playbacks. Oh, shit. People getting kicked or something? Or leaving my thing? I don't even know. This was what I was, yeah. So, yeah, the thing that I noticed. Can I just disable preview? There. Cool. The thing that I noticed from online lefties, Twitter, honestly, surprisingly, not even half as bad as Facebook. But there's some real fucking toxicity that goes on. And it is, it's pretty yikesy. Especially the phrase, now hear me out here. It's okay to bully you because we don't like you. Does that sound fine to anybody? Does that sound right? It's like, oh yeah, you're a leftist. You disagree with us on some strategy. But we don't like you, so it's perfectly okay to harass and demean. And I mean, I'm irritated by it, but I'm not like losing my shit. But I want to point out this general trend because I see it a lot, and not just directed at me, but directed to a lot of other people, especially baby leftists who still have some pretty lib takes and shit. Even some people who used to 5, 6, 7 years ago were kind of in more alt-right circles, and they just started moving over. Like they moved over to being a more
opponent claims
standard conservative to a liberal, and now they're trying to move over into leftist spaces. But with all the destructive antagonism
Zone B captured. You have the advantage. Press on.
What? That's hack shit right there. Since when does that melee just one shot? And since when can you do it that? Oh my god.
Zone B lost.
I hate this game. Utter dog shit. This game is fucking horseshit. Even when I do well, it's because the game decided that I was gonna fucking do well and not because of anything I did. The game doesn't have anything to do with fucking skill.
Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
What? And nobody fucking shoots this dude?
The lead is yours.
Cool. I'll just distract people and pull them out because this loadout sucks and I'm never getting another goddamn pulse rifle kill. The rolls on a lot of this shit is garbage. Whatever! If he does not have fucking quick draw... He does. Okay, of course he does. These people have no lives. He has fucking almost 300 ranks. In PvP, of course. He has no life.
Zone B lost.
Yep, and we're gonna start losing people because they're just gonna run somehow as a pack, not as if, like, I don't know. This shit is dumb. Nobody can be part of a fucking fire team, you know?
You cut their momentum.
I did it.
Keep pushing. Captured Zone B. You have the advantage. Press on.
Cool. I'll take it. And of course they come out that broken super.
Zone B lost.
I shotgunned him. You see that? Absolute horseshit. Game is garbage. And of course
Zone
there's
B
the
captured.
fucking
Two zones
shotgunner
are
in my
yours.
fucking
That
spawn.
shot down.
Get out of here. Bitch. You were in my way. You were pissing me off. You were bringing down my fucking happiness.
Five minutes remain.
Come on, push me. Push me. Okay, so just like 2.5 seconds solid of blasting this guy with super, and he can just not die.
Zone B lost.
Okay, doesn't. Alright. We know that there is some bullshittery going on with some of these connections. I do, because I see him rubber banding all over the place. That dude literally just used a super 20 seconds
Zone B
ago.
captured.
There is
Two zones are
zero
yours.
chance.
Zone B lost.
Come on,
3
Swaggin.
minutes left.
Oh my god. None of them should be in a fire team. They're not in a fire team. How the fuck are they just always where I am? Get them off my zone while we cap this one.
You captured Zone A. You have the advantage. Press on.
Behind a wall, sure, whatever.
Zone C lost. It's almost over. Don't let them have it easy.
He wasn't even on my radar. 0% on radar. Not at all. The only thing on my radar was that far away. Try to get distracted by the person behind you.
Losses happen.
Okay.
The world
leaving
faced myriad
this
hardships in the Dark Age. Defeat was a constant. You can overcome it too.
Because I finished what I wanted to do. This loadout, absolute guard. This shotgun sucks. Literally the exact same thing as this one. Except this one has a better masterwork. This thing's better, but this thing is more light, so. Alright. Gonna turn in my last bounty. Gonna go talk to Shax, and then I'm getting off of Destiny. For now. What? People unhappy? People keep getting kicked? Is there stream health? Excellent. Stream set. Okay, stream health. Nope. No drop frames or anything. I've been going for a good 30 minutes. I've been playing this game for 3 hours now.
Checking now. Whenever you need me again, Guardian. All done.
But I do want to do something else. I'm also very hungry.
Tell me, you don't fear Vanguard operations? Do you fear the Crucible?
Give me that sweet.
I value your opinions, Warlock. Tell me, you don't fear Vanguard operations? Do you fear the Crucible? Be safe out there, Guardian. Even steel needs sharpening.
I'm
Let's see
wearing
what
the
we've got
Aeon
here.
Souls.
Guardians are always welcome on my doorstep.
I actually do like them as gauntlets. They're way better than people give them
Checking now.
credit for. 1300s and they're 64s. And these are 63s. 1280, don't care. 1280, don't care. It's not strong enough.
Done, done, done.
Alright, well, that's good for that.
Good luck, good luck, good luck.
Let's get off of Destiny. Boom. Exit to desktop. Confirm. Minimize that. Actually, that is kind of what I want to get to. Let's pin that. Open this. Because pop out chat. two set up side by side. We don't have any participants in the chat. I don't have any moderators. Alright. What do we got?
A coalition of civil rights groups filed a federal lawsuit against Georgia's new voting restrictions. They say the Republican-backed law signed by Governor Brian Kemp Thursday isn't. A coalition of civil rights groups filed a federal lawsuit against Georgia's new voting restrictions. They say the Republican-backed law signed by Governor Brian Kemp Thursday is intended to make it harder for people to vote, especially black voters. The law imposes limits like stricter ID requirements for voters. It shortens the early voting period for runoff elections and makes it a misdemeanor crime for people to offer food and water to voters waiting in line. President Joe Biden on Friday accused Republicans in Georgia of attacking voting rights.
It's an atrocity. The idea, if you want any indication that it has nothing to do with fairness, nothing to do with decency, they passed a law saying you can't provide water for people standing in line while they're waiting to vote. You don't need anything else to know that this is nothing but punitive, designed to keep people from voting.
Biden also said the Justice Department was taking a look at Georgia's new law. The legislation comes just months after Democrats celebrated historic wins in Georgia, helping the party win the White House and gain razor-thin control of the U.S. Senate. It's one of more than 250 bills Republicans have filed nationwide, proposing new voting limits since former President Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Republicans say new voting restrictions are necessary.
There's no way we lost Georgia.
After Trump spent months falsely blaming his loss on voter fraud.
Significant reforms to our state elections were needed.
Moments after signing Georgia's bill, Governor Kemp reiterated that stance.
This is so fucking
With Senate Bill 202, Georgia will take another step toward ensuring our elections are secure, accessible, and fair.
But
accessible. You're
Democrats
trying to
cried foul.
fucking cut people
Hart
out of
Cannon,
it.
A
You
state representative from Georgia was arrested
lying
Thursday
piece of
for
shit.
knocking on the door of Kemp's office as he signed the bill.
For what? Under arrest for what?
Once released, she tweeted, "I am not the first Georgian to be arrested for fighting voter suppression. I'd love to say I'm the last, but we know that isn't true."
absolutely ridiculous. That isn't... I don't think that's the issue.
A delegation of Republican lawmakers is calling on President Biden to come see the crisis at the border for himself after they toured facilities holding thousands of migrant children at the southern border. The delegation also rode along with Border Patrol overnight, where they encountered some of the people trying to come to the United States. Our congressional correspondent Rachel Scott was right there with them for that ride along, and she joins us live now from the border to tell us all about it. Rachel, hi. I know it's been a busy day for you. We appreciate you coming on. Tell me a little bit about what you and the delegation saw during this trip, and how did they react to it?
Well, Diane, we were out very late last night, past 1 a.m. in the morning. This delegation, a group of 18 Republican senators, got to see for themselves firsthand what it is like at the border along here with us. We walked. They crossed paths with migrants. They saw some of the conditions. They saw the dark paths that many of these unaccompanied children, these migrants, are walking through in order to get here to the United States. Today, they're out on a boat tour with the Texas Department of Public Safety. You can see just just behind me right there, that is Mexico just in the distance. We actually went out with state troopers on the boat for about an hour earlier this morning and just got to see how close in proximity this is. It takes just about minutes for these unaccompanied minors, for these migrants to get from one side, from Mexico, to the other side. Last night we were out with all of these Republican senators. I got a chance to talk to many of them as they were seeing these conditions for themselves, and they were outraged by it. They were saying that now is time for President Joe Biden to come here and to see it for himself. They were calling out President Joe Biden for not allowing press access, not allowing reporters like me inside of some of those overcrowded facilities that we have seen in Dore, Texas. Those senators today got to go inside and see it for themselves, but reporters like me were not allowed in. So they were pressing them on that. But I did ask, a really pointed question to Senator Lindsey Graham about where was the outrage? If he's outraged over the conditions now, where was the outrage during the Trump administration?
Where the fuck was it,
the
Lindsey?
Outrage is that you entice people to do this. They're going to have a 5,000 facility at Fort Bliss. What President Biden did today in that news conference was a disaster. He told everybody in Central America we're going to improve conditions. What he did is created a human tsunami that's going to come to the United States. He didn't mean to, but I don't think he understands his own policies. The reason is...
Oh, you fucking... You horrid piece of shit. No. Here's the deal, okay? If you make sure that there's enough people to process the influx of migrants who want to come here, then there doesn't need to be huge, overcrowded fucking facilities. You can process people. You can get them out of there. You can let people in. You don't have to make the conditions fucking bad when they try and come here to seek asylum. That is inhumane. You are a fucking horrid individual if you think that we need to have bad conditions where we stuff hundreds of people into rooms meant to hold 20 people. And you think that's what we need to do to prevent people from coming here. Why don't we make the conditions in that place better and the conditions when they would arrive better? Why don't we just do that? We can make everything better. This is absolutely ridiculous.
This trail is so worn is in the last 2 months, there's a green light to come into the United States.
Yeah, Senator Lindsey Graham there saying that Biden is giving people a green light to come here. Certainly the messaging that he's not going to turn them away. But it's also important to note that this is a crisis that both administrations, Trump and Biden, administrations before them, have had to handle. We saw some of the conditions in some of those facilities under former President Donald Trump. They were called out for that as well as the Biden administration is right now. So many are talking about these Republican senators and saying, why weren't they speaking up more then when it was under the Trump administration, Diane?
And Rachel, President Biden was grilled by reporters about this border crisis yesterday.
And I mean, yeah, it's not good, but the conditions are definitely better than when Trump was there. We need to definitely improve everything and just let people eventually flow into the country. But, that's... People aren't ready for that one.
And about the fact that the press aren't being allowed into those crowded facilities. And he seemed to ask for patience as he tries to address this. He wanted a bit more time for his policies to kick in. So what is the administration doing about this now?
Yeah, well, he really didn't even give a firm answer on when reporters would be allowed to go inside. One reporter, one camera was allowed into one facility earlier this week in Carrizo Springs. I was there as well. That's about 4 hours away from where I'm standing right now. But that facility was under capacity. So it's a very stark contrast, far from the reality of the conditions that we are seeing inside the facilities like Dore, Texas, where you have children, you have migrants, you have children under the age of 18 sleeping on the floor, packed closely together. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. They're separated by plastic. They have foiled blankets. I mean, this was just a stark contrast to what the access that was given.
Okay, so I'm going to point out something. The fucking Mylar blankets that are given. I don't care. I want to look up. Oh. Mylar blankets, well insulated, keeps people from being too cold and stuff like that. I thought it was a poor critique under Trump. Because initially it's like, they're just giving foil blankets, and then you look at it and it's like, wait, isn't that a Mylar blanket? And then you look up Mylar blanket. That was the weakest criticism under Trump. I think the poor conditions, the food, the lack of medical emergency, and the sexual assault were the pretty bad things under Trump. And I'm pretty sure that they'd be continuing under Biden, because there hasn't been any substantive, like, disciplinary action or overhaul or even an investigation, really, into those allegations. They just seem to have gone, been moved on with. New administration, no need to discipline the people who potentially were sexually abusing minors. Don't need to look into that one, do we? See, there we go. Hey, look, criticism of Biden that I think is warranted.
Given to us by the Biden administration to that one reporter and that one camera that got to go inside. The children at that facility had classrooms. They were playing soccer and basketball inside. So not all of these facilities are clearly the same, and that certainly was not the standard across the board there. You know, Cecilia Vega pressed President Biden on this yesterday, and his message stands firm. He believes that all of these unaccompanied minors, the surge that we are seeing here, these children should not be turned away. They should not go back. That is a very different message that I heard from Republicans here yesterday as we were out doing this midnight border visit. They said that some of these children need to go back across the border, even after making some of the most treacherous walks and going through some of the most dire conditions, Diane.
And Rachel, I know you also got a chance to speak directly to some of those migrants that are trying to come into the country. What did they have to say?
Yeah, you know, a little bit past midnight, as we were walking towards the edge of the river, we encountered a group of migrants that were walking towards the United States. They had just crossed on American soil, and I met a mother. She brought her 5-year-old daughter with her. Her daughter was clinching onto her, and she told me that they came from Honduras. She said that she brought her daughter here for a better life. She said that her husband, her son, had already made it over, and she actually took out a little piece of paper that she had in her pocket. It had laminate on it a number, a family member, a number, and that's really common of what we have seen so far. Many of these migrants, they're crossing the border, even these children who are under the age of 18, and they have a phone number of a family member so that they can be connected to them for this. But she broke down and she started crying. She was really emotional. This was a long journey for her. You have to imagine what that is like to take a 5-year-old across the border to walk. She said that she was hungry for a lot of days. They went without food, tears streaming down her eyes during that. And then also during that moment, her child started to cry as well. We also met a 17-year-old. He told me that he came from Guatemala. He said that he was just here for a better opportunity, a better future. In fact, he has no family members here at all. And those two didn't even know each other prior to this. They actually met as they were making this journey across the border, and they were together during the last leg of it. He told me that he was on his feet walking for over a month just to reach the United States. And they finally got here, and they said that they're looking for opportunity, that they're in search of that American dream, Diane.
Okay. This will get into the actual topic that I have here, issues internally. I want to point out a dichotomy. A leftist looks at this situation and goes, this is terrible, we need to do something about this. Let's try and help the migrants. A conservative looks at this and goes, oh no, this is terrible, we need to send them back. Two totally different things. I side with the leftist here. There may be the liberal who goes, oh no, this is terrible, we need to figure out what to do with these migrants, so let's put them in a place and tell them. The conservative immediately starts thinking of a camp, i.e. Trump detainment camps, concentration camps. Other people, the liberals, are thinking like a sponsorship deal where they can let a few people in, you know, comparatively to what other people would want, like lefties would want. They can let some people in and they can like have them work and stuff. They may need to go back to their home at some point, but... And then a leftist would look at that and go, you're both terrible. You want to put them somewhere where they... You just don't want to let them in? And I mean, I understand the sentiment, but sadly the liberal is looking at it in a more nuanced position than you are. This person just came from a different country, and we would like to know who they are. Not in a, are you a bad person sense, but in a, how are we going to be able to get taxes from your work sense. Personally, what I think would be a really good situation is like a migrant city. So, say, here, let's just go, no, not Mao. Fucking get out of the way. Alright, so you see right here. So you see, we got this right here. So what you could do is here, here, maybe even here, here. Laredo is a border town, but along here kind of thing, and around leading up towards other major cities, you could have some here. I'd want one near Laredo so that there could be some like integration. But yeah, along these areas, you could put migrant cities where they could come across. You could put them very close to the border. Make Laredo one of these. And then there's you could have immigrant processing in these cities, and then there's housing in these cities for immigrants. So you can process them, house them, get them looking for work, integrated into society, blah blah blah, doing whatever needs to be done to make sure that they are living a good life, as well as keeping up with the people in the other cities. Now, an advantage of this, I think, would be, there'd be plenty of housing, and you could start off with like some construction crews from like Laredo and San Antonio and stuff like that, building some housing out in the area. But like some of them would have to be permanent housing, but I do think there should be like some state-run hotels kind of thing where people can come and stay, like a kind of a public housing situation where migrants can come and stay. They have a place to stay, especially if they have to wait for processing, so they can be in the town. There can be commodities and stuff or whatever. I know capitalism, commodities, but we're in a capitalist world right now, so we have to figure out how we can at least ameliorate the problems that people face. Now, that is a big deal. Getting people integrated and able to work. Able to live their life in this country. I mean, fuck. That's all people want, is the ability to come and live a decent life. That's why people come here. I notice my concurrent viewers keeps bumping up and down. 4 playbacks. Y'all are still here? Hello. So, a issue I see is I could suggest something like these migrant cities where, you know, people are there and some of the work could be done by migrants to build more public housing and maybe work on community gardens and shit like that and starting public works for all the people. And I could suggest something like that, and there would be conservatives who would freak out and be like, no, that'll be costly, brown people bad. And then there will be the other leftists, the constantly online leftists, the Twitter lefty, if you will, who goes, I can't believe you want to separate the migrants from the rest of society until they can conform. It's like, oh my god. At least one person's coming in at least honest and laying out their intentions and their arguments. They may be wrong, but they're not fucking bad faith about it. And I have issue with that. So other lefties that are coming out with the bad take, the point here is this is a way to integrate. This is like a way to reach across to the liberal and be like, hey, we can take this idea and take it a step further, and we can improve the lives of other people. It can drive economic, blah, 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 blah. And you just try and hit them in every single point to make it seem like it's the better idea, which, I mean, it objectively would be. Not Migrant City, just off the top of my fucking head. So, I mean, we got to do better. We got to reach across, we got to talk to people, and we got to be more kind. We can't just dogpile with bad faith. Because that's a problem I keep seeing over and over and over and over. You strawman other people's arguments. I mean, that's why the alt-right got such a big following, is they would debate lefties who didn't know how to debate. And there would be a strawman argument, and they would call it out, and their idiot fan base would be like, lefties don't know how to debate, and then you would freak out. And you'd lose it. I'm not a debate person, but I see what happens. The bad faith and the straw men. And then the ad homs whenever you get called out for it. I've got work to do on myself, so I mean, I am not a perfect lefty over here. But I see the issue. And it's something that now that I've identified it, and I recognize that in some respects I perpetuate it, I'd like to change that. So can we change that, everybody? Can we just not turn into a circular firing squad anytime somebody has a different strategy than you do, even if the end goal is the same, please? Can we do that, please? Oh, why did Fox News get snubbed at Biden presser? Because they're not real fucking news. That's why. Fuck them. Ooh. I do love JoJo's. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is Pog. Instant replay. I don't care. Don't care. No, stasis isn't bad. Should the army recruit on Twitch? No. God, guys, I watch so much more than the shit that you're showing me. Well, okay, I guess there's a lot of stuff. Let's get the Beatles back together. This band helped me go through so much. Now I know this says 2 years ago, but this album. Come on. Woo! Almost 20 fucking years ago. I found this band when I was 8. Oh. I found them when they first came out then. Sweet. And then I forgot about them for a long time until I thought about them one day, and then they popped back up. This band got me through a lot. I will type in the 2 songs that are my favorites. You can go look them up. This one right here. Because this, yeah. And then this one here. I'm not religious. The song is just beautiful, though. I don't even think anyone in the band is religious, but it is beautiful. I'd say watch the official one. Wait, what? What? Oh my fucking god, Jimmy fucking Dore.
You've heard all of this talk of the singularity. Well, here it is. It's all boiled into one.
Like
Many of you have spent years remarking how Dave Rubin is literally a joke. And to be honest, we have many times referred to him as, contextualize him as a butt of a joke. What Dave Rubin does is have people on and say things to, like, in the past, Stefan Molyneux. Did you know?
Let's see what... People getting mad that Jimmy Dore's getting called out? Go ahead and throw them into the fucking stream title. And the tags. Boom. Update. Let's go. See, it says I've got 2 concurrent viewers, but I don't believe it. Nobody chats. Playback. Well, come on, guys. Let's chat. Let's chat, everyone. Oh, and live chat. Allow replay online. Yep. Okay, cool. We're good. Are we ready? Let's get into why Jimmy Dore is a fucking grifter. And if he's not a grifter, he is really, really not equipped to handle the position and the platform that he fucking has.
He was a journalist. And here we're going to be told that he is.
In that article, it said they talked about Dave Rubin, and they said Dave Rubin, who has interviewed white nationalists, this and that, and blah, blah, and they named everything anti-this and anti-trans activists. And I go, yeah, he does an interview show. That's what, if you're a journalist, You know, you could say that about fucking Walter Cronkite. You could say that about anybody who's supposed to be doing interviews. They're supposed to be interviewing fucking people from all walks of life. Phil Donahue. I grew up on Phil Donahue. I know who David Duke is because he was a regular on the fucking Phil Donahue show. This idea that interviewing people who are outrageous is wrong, people who are way out of line with you politically, that is crazy.
Giving somebody like David fucking Duke a regular platform is obviously harmful. Jesus Christ, Jimmy. Do you see that? Dave Rubin postures himself as a comedian, not as somebody who does interviews. I mean, he does interview people, but there is such a thing as responsible platforming, which obviously Jimmy fucking Dore doesn't know anything about. Holy shit.
Again, that is the establishment trying to control the narrative, and they're trying to keep you in your siloed away and fighting each other. That's all that is.
Oh my god. Oh, because a major publication put out an article about a thing. Or a somewhat major publication put out an article about a thing. That's automatically the fucking establishment trying to pit you again. No! When you are Dave Rubin, he does not know how to responsibly platform people. And B, he doesn't care whether or not he's spreading anything that is a harmful ideology. He lets people shit on the fact that he's gay in front of him. They just disrespect him all the time. Ben Shapiro especially. He's been told to his face that he's a useful idiot to the far right. Because he platforms them a lot and never pushes back on them. And he won't have lefties on because he's the left type. A quote-unquote classical liberal. I don't think Dave Rubin himself, I mean, he might be alt-right, but I don't know if he's alt-right. I just think he's really useful to the alt-right. Kind of like Jimmy fucking Dore is useful to the alt-right by making leftists look completely idiotic.
And they're really ramping that up now because that's all they got. Because as soon as the Americans realize that this is a class war and not a left-right war, the establishment is fucked. And they're coming closer to...
It's also a left-right war, you stupid ass. I don't want to fight alongside Nazis against the establishment because the Nazis will stab me in the back because I'm a commie. Okay? Oh my god.
Realizing that.
Okay, now look, you could isolate.
Narrow the critique to just kind of like nail him on it. That's all.
Well, here, listen to what he's saying here, though.
In that article, it said they talked about Dave Rubin, and they said Dave Rubin, who has interviewed white nationalists, this and that, and and they named everything anti-this and anti-trans activists and that. And I go,
Holocaust
yes,
deniers.
He does an interview show. That's what, if you're a journalist, you know, you could say that about fucking Walter Cronkite. You could say that about anybody who's supposed to be doing interviews. They're supposed to be interviewing fucking people from all walks of life. Phil Donahue. I grew up on Phil Donahue.
Now, I don't know if here he is just if he just doesn't understand what he's reading and what the implications are, or if he's just pretending. I don't know. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He could be just dumb. That he doesn't understand that the critique is not that these people showed up there. It's that they showed up there and were completely unchallenged.
Yep, exactly. Ooh, this is...
Wait, what? I appreciate your publication, Sam Cedar. I just want to see Dan get dumpstered.
Dan Crenshaw on his program. Dan Crenshaw, of course, taking a break from his Marvel movie parodies to come on and actually have a conversation. Here's Mehdi Hassan basically calling Crenshaw on all his BS.
So let's talk about what you and the Republican Party call the Biden border crisis, this idea that he created it since coming to office. Let me just put some numbers up on screen. You can see clearly from those CBP numbers that since the pandemic and since Title 42 was brought in to expel asylum seekers at the start of the pandemic,
Oh, I do want to reach across to the Jimmy fans, to the people who might tune in and see this, and see the title and try and hate. I want to add, I do. I want to say, I don't have a problem with you. I have a problem with Jimmy. I think you may have been misled. You might think he has, and I'm not even going to say everything he says is stupid. I just think a lot of what I've heard from him, especially more recently, is it's less than good. So, if you are a Jimmy Dore fan, I implore you to listen to what he says more closely. I am pleading. Please. Because he's pulling the same shit that Crystal Ball did. His channel grew once he started emulating Crystal Ball, who sits by and lets Sauger spout off far-right talking points. Then as soon as he says something about the establishment, Crystal interjects with some, yeah. And I watched a lot of Rising because I was a fan of Kyle Kalinske 2 to 3 years ago. I watched pretty much Kyle, and then a bit of Hassan, but I didn't like Hassan. I initially didn't like Hassan as much as I like Kyle Kalinske, and then it became a thing. Anyways.
Border apprehensions have gone up month after month. The truth is Joe Biden did not inherit falling numbers. He inherited 9 consecutive months of increases at the border. It's right there on screen for single adults and for families and kids.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you're getting your data from. Look, in February, we had over 100,000 crossings. Back in November, there was about 800 people in CBP custody. Now there's about 10,000. Migrants will tell you, as reporters are interviewing them, that Joe Biden invited them. The drug cartels are passing this information along. Look, there was very specific policy.
Always with the dumb fear-mongering. Shut the fuck up with it. There's not that big of an issue with the drug cartels, and we could eliminate any issue with them if we legalized marijuana and decriminalized all drugs. That's all you have to do. Just decriminalize the drugs, and then there's not a black market for it. Hell, make it to where you can go do them in a safe, legal area. Fuck it.
These that were reversed as soon as Biden took office, as you mentioned, that I said in our Twitter exchange, remain in Mexico policy, and really importantly, the asylum.
Here we go. Here's my fucking proposal, okay? Listen to this shit. Alright, so you've got America, you've got Mexico, you've got drug cartels, you've got people who want fucking drugs, alright? Because drugs, fun, alright? I don't like some of them, but I'm not going to discriminate in this basis, okay? So, here is how you solve the problem with the black market of drugs. What you do is what I said before. You legalize all the drugs. You just make it completely legal to do any drug you want. You set up areas inside of communities. Each community, like every fucking square mile or whatever. A couple square miles so that it's easy to walk to. Or, you ride your scooter if you have trouble walking or whatever. Easy access to a community center where you can just do drugs, okay? And then what you do is you work with the Mexican government to work with the cartels to get them to be their own well-paid branch of government producing high quality drugs that gets sold to America. That's an import we do. Now, we've got the weed on lock. We grow really good weed here. But there are other drugs that we don't have the capacity to just pump out. It would, A, eliminate the violence from the drug war, because there'd be no drug war. The cartels, boom, part of the government. Everybody there gets paid well. It improves the standard of living in Mexico. It improves happiness in America and allows people to do drugs in a orderly area. You know, I'm fine with that. I don't care if you want to go on, like, trip mushrooms and honestly, I think, like, mushrooms, LSD, and weed could be something you do in your home. But, like, heroin, PCP, stuff like that, you may want to be in a center where you can get, like, safe needles and stuff like that. There's just other reasons for it to be watched over. Like, yeah, PCP? No, that one, even LSD has a potential to have a bad trip, but, it's not as likely, I would say. So, you follow those easy steps, right? And you get a happier population in America, a happier and more prosperous population in Mexico. And Mexico could start doing the same kind of thing if it works well, you know, is start emulating that in other countries where they get community centers where people can just oversee, and then well, it can spread because there's Colombian cocaine and blah blah blah. So you know, so all that stuff. So you can incorporate all of that as a economic trade route, like an avenue to go to improve the economies and thus the standard of living and thus the conditions, the political and social conditions in those countries. Now, how would I go about wanting to do this? If, say, I were, not that I would ever really want to be, but if there was some deity that made me emperor of the U.S. for fucking, I'd say 24 hours, but the person who came in immediately after me would overturn anything I did. As far as like the system being reset exactly the way it was. So I'd say 6 months. If I was like emperor for 6 months, I would highly encourage cooperatives to produce the drugs, like socialized cooperatives in Mexico and Colombia and fucking Venezuela or whatever the fuck, wherever they want to produce the drug that is needed. Because I mean, LSD, I'm pretty sure we got on lock. Meth, I live in Oklahoma, and it's an issue. We don't even rank on here anymore. Yeah, we were 9th in 2013. And now people are just getting better at fucking hiding it, I guess, because I still see them everywhere.
On cooperative agreements with Northern Triangle countries, this basically reinstates a process of catch and release. When people think that they're going to come across the border, as long as they have a child with them, and they're going to be released, then that's a huge incentive to come across, especially when they're going to get a bus ticket wherever they want, and now a hotel room, because that's what's being funded. So the incentives are pretty obvious, and we have to ask ourselves the question, is this a sustainable policy? And is this fair to millions and millions of people around the world who have valid asylum claims that now are getting clogged into the system and can't get their claims heard?
A lot of claims made there, which we'll try to unpack in the brief time we have together. I just want to stick to one. You said, I don't know where you're getting the numbers from. Let's just pull up the graph again. That is a graph from the American Immigration Council based on CBP figures. Those are CBP numbers. If we pull up the graph, I just want you to have a look at that graph we just had. That's 9 straight months. You can see there, Title 42 expulsion.
I can't see the graph, but I can tell you, say I just got the phone.
Well, let me tell you, it's 9 straight months. Hold on, Congressman. 9 straight months of increases in immigrants being apprehended at the border. Joe Biden did not inherit
just to be clear,
9 months of fault.
Just to be clear, you're just denying that this massive increase happened in the last couple of months. We're just denying that?
No, I didn't deny there was a massive increase. I can agree there's a massive increase. Can you agree there were 9 months of increases prior to Biden coming into office? That's what the CBP figures would show.
These are not substantial increases. Look, I just got off the phone with one of the former CBP chiefs.
So that's what he keeps trying to rely on.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a surge. I don't know what that chart was. Immigration graph. CBP. Okay, this is 2019, this is 2020, this is 2021, right here. So, October, I think that's supposed to be was low. 2021 or 2018 higher in this, right? So it averages out. 2019 was an aberration. 977. 396, 458. 977, 521, so it goes up, but it's not hugely different. Like, so far, this one's 100,000, which is triple what it would be. But if you're looking at September 2020 numbers, October, November, December, January. Okay, so it's January's here. That's fucking weird. Okay, so December was 60,000 people. Okay, so yeah, here's the trend. See, there's it around the 60,000. See, if you look, what was that, 2019? 40,000. Biden got elected. I guess there was a... Wait. I'm so confused. 60,000. There wasn't a steady increase. There was a dip. November to December. And then January it went from 40,000 to 78,000. Oh, that's because it starts here in 2019. How do fiscal years work in this regard? October 1st through September 30th. So, October 1st through September 30th of the following year. So, because it starts October 2019. So, this is October 2017. This is January 2019. 52, 2019, 2020, 36, 34, 17 in April. Alright, that was a low point. 23, 33. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wait. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Biden elected. Yeah, okay, now that I know how a fucking fiscal year works. Well, you just gave an example of how a fiscal year doesn't coincide with the, in this. Yeah?
Have to shower.
Okay. You hungry?
What?
You hungry?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. So, this graph absolutely shows an overall 9-month gradual increase. Okay.
On anecdotal data and
I thought I found a flaw because I didn't understand how the fiscal year was laid out in this fucking thing. I had an idea that this is what it meant. Right here is how that would go, but the fiscal year starting July 1st, 2018 and ending on June 30th, 2019 refers to the fiscal year 2019 or FY 2019 because it starts in October. You got 1, 2, 3, and then boom, you're in the next year. So the majority of your accounting would be for that following year. So you would put it as, even though it starts in 2019, technically in October, it would be called 2020, which is confusing for people like me who don't know what you're doing here. Although now I do. Cool. And they don't have any more on Old Crenshaw, huh? Well, that's okay. Wait, what? That's clickbaiting.
Tucker Carlson is. They're saying that the Republic.
All right, and this one's short. I'm gonna give commentary and stuff because I kind of have to. I don't want to get any copyright strikes or anything. So
Republicans are going to have no choice but to elect a fascist in 10, 15 years. What? Sam, how could you say something like that? What's wrong with you? You out of control? No, I'm not saying that. Tucker Carlson and his guest is saying that. Here is Tucker Carlson welcoming to his program Jesse Kelly.
I think you make a really solid point about the sadness and the powerlessness that people feel in the face of this. And at some point, people are going to say, why should I follow the rules? Why should I be a good citizen if they don't have to follow the rules? I mean, things kind of break down at some point, don't they?
Well, they will break down. They are breaking down, Tucker. I've said this before, and I'm telling you, I'm worried that I'm right. The right is going to pick a fascist within 10 to 20 years because they're not going to be the only ones on the outs. There's 60, 70 million of us. We're not a tiny minority. And if we're going to be all treated like criminals and all subject to every single law while Antifa Black Lives Matter guys go free and Hunter Biden goes free, then the right's going to take drastic measures. And it's not about Hunter Biden and his drug use. Nobody cares that guy was bumping booger sugar lines off European hookers on the weekend. It's about justice that he's never held accountable for, and none of the Bidens are. But you would be, Tucker, and so would I.
That's so well put.
Not if those things are legal in the country you're doing them in. Like, the laws governing drug use are specific to the borders of the U.S. If you're a U.S. citizen abroad, those laws don't fucking apply.
And you're absolutely right. We're moving toward actual.
I want a
extremism.
compilation of
They
those
are
from Tucker.
undermining the system that kept extremism at bay. And I don't think we can say that enough. I'm so glad that you just said it. Jesse Kelly, thank you.
Well, you bet, Tucker.
Booger Dooger. Listen. The story here is that, like, we're gonna go fascist, and it's gonna be the liberals' fault because
we didn't want to become fascists, but you made us.
Hunter Biden's gone free. We're all gonna be fascists now.
That was pretty much the fucking argument. It's because they don't understand things and they're scared. I like how he said there's 60, 70 million of us whenever he said, yeah, they might go fascist. Even if that's a minority. And he said, we're not a minority. What?
Can they cool it with the coke stuff? I mean, it's just like obvious that they're obsessed with the fact that Hunter Biden's like done cocaine and had an issue in the past. But like, I mean, they're kind of overcompensating a little bit when Don Jr. eventually runs, because he's going to have a little bit of some booger sugar issues himself.
The issue is that 20 years from now, when someone runs as a fascist, they're going to be talking about Hunter Biden and Antifa getting away with all of it.
Yeah, that's something I didn't even really connect. Oh, God. That's amazing.
I mean, this is just simply their frame. They can just plug anything into this machine. I remember being on a panel with Whitman, former governor of New Jersey. What was her first name? She was the former EPA.
Chrissy Todd.
Yeah, Chrissy Todd Whitman. She was the EPA head under George Bush, and I think it was on a panel with her maybe like, I don't know, back maybe 10 years ago now, 2011 or something. And she said, look, if liberals weren't so adamant about climate change, they wouldn't force conservatives to be to be climate change deniers.
Well, that's really, really, really stupid. Just because somebody is pushing an issue like climate change, if it's, going to cause devastating effects to the entire planet, you might pay attention to that one and go, wait, hold on, what, we could all die? Okay. No, I'm not down for that. Let's not do that. Instead of going, well, you're so adamant about it, I don't believe it. I don't. I'm going to ignore all of the science on it.
It's just saying we're reactionary in our nature.
We have no
Exactly.
agency. It says we have no agency except for the way that we react to the left, which is largely true, right? A lot of modern conservatism is just about owning the libs, and so they don't really know who they are when they're just engaging in cultural Dr. Seuss nonsense.
Yeah.
Who they are independent of leftist reactions.
It's the "look what you made me do" thing that, like the Taylor Swift song, and it goes back to Nixon as the first Republican I identified this in, because I studied him, but he was doing all this Watergate stuff, and in his mind he was thinking LBJ was doing this shit to me. So, and LBJ actually wasn't. J. Edgar Hoover gassed him up about that to make him paranoid. But yeah, it's always "look what you made me do."
Abuser logic, and it's also again, it's pathetic that they don't have agency outside of how other people treat them, I guess.
Not even really. Okay, that's poor wording on Emma's part, I think. Maybe that's exactly what she meant, but based on the context of what she was saying earlier, not how they treat them, but based on how the left does things. How fanatical they can be on some things. Oh my god, this was so fucking dumb. Oh my god.
Existing hatred of somebody.
Yeah, but I mean, is that what?
Here, here's the clip. Brendan's
No,
playing
it's
the clip, so-
it's not worth anything.
So if you're listening on the podcast, Biden's walking over to reporters. He starts to talk, and his hand goes over the microphone there. I mean, I admit it, and in the piece I wrote too, it does, from that angle, it does look odd. It's a bizarre looking thing. But if you look at other camera angles and see where the mics are in terms of perspective, and you can it then makes sense. Like it's a trick played by how big that microphone actually is compared to the other microphones. It's a lot bigger, and it's not directly next to them. If you see the other photos, it's off to Biden's side. And then on top of that,
oh, is that what people are getting in about?
He
is
does,
that
he
he
does
doesn't
look
look
super weird.
He looks like he doesn't touch the mic. Ah, I see.
Like he's right there. See, he's right over the microphone there. Yeah. It looks odd, but when you see the other camera angles and the photos, it makes 100% sense as to how that happened.
I need to send this fucking video to somebody. Jesus Christ. Or tell them to watch my stream. Holy shit. Who was it? Where are you? I don't want to dox you. You. Yeah, that was... really... okay.
It's a trick. Like you could look what Hollywood does knowingly with playing with lighting and different
Tom
camera
Cruise's
effects.
height. Tom Cruise's height.
And none of this requires green screen. None of this requires CGI or digitally altered editing. It's literally just how lighting and perspective and focus works through the lens of a camera. And you're able to do all sorts of things, sometimes accidentally, due to those things. And it's just that simple. That's what happened here. It's just so crazy, man.
Was Biden wearing a gold or a blue suit to you in that last?
Oh my God, no. Okay, are they showing the other camera angles?
Warehouse set, Matt. Come on.
But he's good enough. He's good enough to walk this entire distance, like in this warehouse anyway. Like that's.
Yeah, but maybe they just animated his head on. He is walking a little weird. I don't know, man.
Well, actually, they think he's walking sickly in this too. They think.
Okay, they didn't show the other one. Yeah, it's true. Right here. Immediately it went from... Or no, it's still like, I've already seen somebody suggest that it's some sort of hologram thing because what's-his-name was able to embrace holograms. Dude in France. Alright, let's get off majority reports thing. True. Who the fuck is Wings of Redemption?
What's Wings doing? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait, is someone paid? Uh-oh!
Okay. That was very... Oh, it's fucking allergy season. Let's preview this.
How do you feel about the phrase Western chauvinism?
Believing that Western society is superior.
What does that
I have
mean?
no problem with it. Well, you know what the root word of chauvinism means, right?
It doesn't have positive connotations.
Well, no, chauvinist baseline. Do you know what? I'll read it out for you.
Generally, a person who believes in supremacy.
Yeah, no, like it says, a militant devotion to glorification of one's country, fanatical patriotism, or a prejudiced belief in superiority of one's own gender, group, or kind. So they're saying that basically, have you ever seen Enrique's shirt, the American Supremacist? You ever seen that shirt?
I have not
seen
that shirt. What does that mean,
well,
the American Supremacist?
Okay, so I forget that that's how they structure these when they do that. I don't want to watch I don't want to watch this entire video right now. I will watch that on my own time. I'm not going to use it for that. I will, however. No, I'm not going to change my mind on that because he is fairly racist. What? What happened? What the fuck happened? Yeah, what the fuck? Okay. Maybe free by Saturday. Stuck in traffic jam. So did it just... Okay. Why? Oh. That makes a lot of sense. Yep. Where's the spike? What's the trend? That's not what I'm looking for. I want to know the trend. March 12th. Yep, it's been upticking. That's not good. Coping, huh? True. Do take care of yourselves. It's honestly a really good thing to do. Mental breaks is something we need. That's a thing capitalism doesn't give enough credit or enough time for. It doesn't give any care for. It's a very interesting thing. Now, a socialist society would probably, in an ideal sense, give plenty of time for mental health checks. Now, I can't even say capitalism doesn't necessarily do that. It's just American capitalism for fuck's sure does not care about your mental health. It's just an overall thing. It just doesn't care. It doesn't make time for it. You have to try and take time off work. You have to pay for it. They don't care. Like, your boss isn't going to encourage you to go do it most of the time. Most of the time. There are instances. But outside of that, I mean, no. Other countries do give time to people for them to be able to, get their mental health in order. They have paid vacations that are just, there you go, you get this much time off. You're paid for it, so you're not worried about it. Instead of it being a benefit, it's just a thing that everyone gets. So, not really relevant. Oh god, it's 9:30. Oh god, it is. Yeah. Alright. Ooh, actually, I know what to do. I want to go over some research. Thanks, RGR. Okay, so these are all about sex and gender. Alright, well. Pretty sure these are all actually already on here. 2014. Alright, let's see what this has to do with. LGB. Okay, whatever. Thanks, RDR. Wow. I'm gonna borrow this link and post it in chat. Anybody can go here and look over this. This is promotion about sexual and reproductive health. It's pretty interesting. Alright, fine. Oh, is it all on Twitter?
For better wages, benefits, and worked at Amazon during almost all of his career. That moniker, after he told is one of the most powerful politicians in Vermont for 30 plus years, and their minimum wage is still only $11.75. Amazon's minimum wage is $15 plus great health care from day one. The senator should save his finger-wagging lecture until after he actually delivers in his own backyard.
Ooh.
Now, there is so much to say to this, and I'll get to a lot of the responses in a second. Obviously, he was he's ratioed, over the course of this tweet, other tweets, just countless replies to this. But let's first get to the obvious point here. His attack on Bernie Sanders. Now, this is so dumb because Dave Clark apparently doesn't understand, or doesn't want you to understand, that there is a difference between what a senator does and what state politicians do. Bernie Sanders does not set the wage in Vermont. That is not what a U.S. senator does. They have no control over state policy. In fact, recently, this is from 2020, Vermont GOP governor vetoes minimum wage increase. So they attempted to raise the wages, and the Republican governor there vetoed it. Bernie has no power over this. He can't reverse the...
True. So it's okay. So it's people bodying an Amazon executive because they're trying to propagandize. That makes sense. I can understand that. No. Ooh, really? I don't remember if that's good or bad. Probably good. I'm just gonna assume troops withdrawing from a place that they shouldn't be. Please don't copyright.
Drowning deep in my sea of lonely, couldn't be certain of this darkness.
Okay. Oh, the memes. Wait, hold on. I heard something about... Hold on. Yeah. I know this is fucking Heritage Foundation shit, but... It's an 18-minute read, 1993. Okay, hold on. Constitution. Oh, the Enclave Clause. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, huh? Article 1. Section 8. No, that's... Okay, now, here's something I want to point out. Okay? Okay, check this. Alright, everybody. Alright. Check this shit. So, this is something I wanted to point out. This is a little bit of an anarchist bent that I noticed coming from the Constitution, because I feel like maybe a couple of the people who were, you know, the quote-unquote founding fathers had a bit of a little bit of an anarchist streak. They didn't trust, like, organized governments and shit. They didn't really want them. They just felt that that was the next step in development, something better than what was before. Now, the reason I say that is things like this. To provide and maintain a navy. Okay, to raise and support armies, but no appropriation of monies shall be used for longer than the term of 2 years. There wasn't supposed to be a standing army. To provide for calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrections, and repel invasions. This is a thing that... Now, I know, suppress insurrections, not really something you would like, but even in an anarchist society, you would want to stop somebody from taking over the anarchist society and trying to reestablish, like, capitalism or some stupid shit. Or some feudal slave state. Wouldn't be cool. You would band together the people who worked on, like, fighting and stuff to do that. To provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia, and for governing such part of them as may be employed in the service of the United States, reserving to the states respectively the appointment of the officers and the authority of the training of the militia according to the discipline prescribed by Congress. And then right here. Okay, so this is all the enumerated powers. So, okay, I've heard the argument it would take a constitutional amendment, and I thought that that had some merit, because I remember reading something about DC. But, after reading the wording on this, to exercise exclusive legislation and all... Okay, Congress, right? This is powers granted to Congress. To exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square, which, I mean, that's how big DC is, as may, by secession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress, become the seat of the government of the United States, and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the state, in which the same shall be for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings. And so, what this is saying is, it doesn't ban,
There have been hearings on the Hill for H.R. 51, which is a bill to provide statehood for Washington, D.C. There are hearings now happening at the House Oversight and Reform Committee. This is one of those bills which will need, ultimately, the dissolution of the filibuster in the Senate. What's happening now is the House is getting ready to pass all these bills and just basically loading it up, and then it's up to the Senate as to whether or not these things will become law. D.C. is not represented in our government by voting members in the House or the Senate. And here is Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib explaining how bizarre in many respects it is that D.C. does not have this kind of representation relative to the rest of the world. Here she is.
True.
Across the aisle love to talk about taxation, local control, and federal overreach whenever it happens in their states. I'd like to focus on these topics as they impact the D.C. residents. Congress has always required D.C. residents to pay all federal taxes while denying D.C. residents a vote in Congress on how the money is spent.
True.
D.C. residents have no vote on the federal laws that govern them and no vote on the federal executive branch and judicial branch officials who enforce and interpret those laws. In fact,
Wait, D.C. residents can't vote for the president? Or for the mayor?
Here in Congress who come in from places
Nope.
like
Federal executive... Wait, judicial branch officials. Do you get to vote on... Well, I guess like federal... No, I think judges are appointed. Rashida.
Idaho, Texas, California, have the final say on the local laws that govern D.C. residents and on the local executive branch and judicial branch officials who enforce and interpret those laws. So, Mr. Henderson, other than the United States, how many democracies deny the residents of their capital voting representation in the national legislature?
To my knowledge, Congresswoman, no countries deny their national capitals votes in the national legislature.
That's right, Mr. Henderson, and I appreciate that. None. That's the answer. This represents an extraordinary violation of democratic principle America claims to represent, right? Our country claims to represent the importance of representation. So now let's look at taxation. In fiscal year 2019, we continue to hear that D.C. paid...
She is just tearing into him, though. Although the judicial thing she's wrong on, I think. But you know, I'm not 100% sure.
27 points.
Oh, is she's saying that the representative doesn't get any vote. Okay. I thought she was saying the citizens don't get to vote on any of that. No, the citizens don't get... Do citizens get... I don't know. I'm not going to speak on that until I look more into it.
$0.5 billion in federal taxes. That's more than 22 other states and territories. In fact, D.C. paid more taxes than Montana, Alaska, Wyoming, Vermont, all the U.S. territories, and all the U.S. foreign deployed service members combined. Put simply, if you oppose D.C. statehood, you support taxation without representation. You hear me? If you oppose D.C. statehood, then you support taxation without representation.
Fucking true.
And let's not forget that people of D.C. have always answered the call to serve whenever their country needs them, right?
Republicans pretend to be so concerned about the taxpayer. Seems like they're less concerned when the majority of the population...
Framers also wanted to avoid one state having undue influence over the federal government.
Oh my fucking god, the Heritage Foundation. Get them out.
There's no question that D.C. residents already impact the national debate. For the members here today, how many of you saw D.C. statehood yard signs or bumper stickers or banners on your way to this hearing today? I certainly did. Where else in the nation could such simple actions reach so many members of Congress?
Where else in the nation are there political signs?
Well, but that's like number 5 on the list of things that are absolutely insane about that. Because A...
Let's have Sam break this down for us, shall we?
It is I mean, the guy's arguing that this influences people who do not get their votes from this. So just the idea that you would see the concept of DC statehood represented on print would have undue influence on you. As if like polls even have undue influence on. The whole point is there's no relationship between these lawmakers and the signs that they're seeing. They might as well be just reading about what's happening in a different country.
Yeah, pretty fucking much. Okay. Even that guy, his statement was ridiculous. I have got to blow my nose, and I need to stand up and move around. So, this is the end of the video, not the stream. Stream people, you stick around. I'll be on a break. Video people, if you like it, like, comment, sub, do the thing, and enjoy. Take care. Drink water. Alright, stream people. I need to take a break. I need to go blow my nose. I need to stand up. I've been going for another 2 hours. I didn't expect to do that, so I appreciate you sticking around. I'll be back in like 5-ish minutes, so actually, I'm not going to do the music thing. People keep leaving for that. I don't know. I will be back though. You know what? I'm not even entirely sure why I just decided to take a break. I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. So, you all, I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, do the thing. Follow me on Twitter at @DSandwichPants, and follow me on Twitch at, just at Sandwich Pants. So, take care, everyone.